So, you go to the supermarket to buy your everyday food, the one thing you eat all the time. But when you get to the aisle, the price has doubled. Not by a little, doubled. This is exactly what's happening in Japan right now, with the single most important food in their culture, rice. It's a crisis that has sparked panic buying, emptied national food reserves, and has now dragged Donald Trump into the fight. He's threatening a trade war over it, and that threat rips the cover off a 50-year-old secret about a powerful group that gets richer when the average person pays more. So, in this video, we are going to follow that clue. First, we'll examine Donald Trump's threats and the surface-level crisis that provoked them. Second, we will uncover the real, hidden reason Japan is refusing to import its way out of this problem. And most importantly, we'll answer the question on our thumbnail: who is actually getting rich from Japan's rice shortage? Okay, let's start with a man who blew this story wide open. In the summer of 2025, Donald Trump declared that Japan has a massive rice shortage, but that they won't buy our rice, calling them very spoiled. He threatened to impose new tariffs, risking a trade war with one of America's closest allies. And on the surface, he has a point. The cost of rice in Japan has gone absolutely crazy. And if anyone takes rice seriously, it's the Japanese. The average person there eats over 50 kilograms of it a year. The problem started with a brutal, record-hot summer in 2023 that damaged the domestic harvest. That was followed by a massive post-pandemic boom in tourism, with millions of visitors all enjoying Japan's famous cuisine. So what's causing the panic? Simple economics, less supply and more demand. So the logical solution for Japan would be to just import more rice from countries like the US, which have plenty of it. But they aren't. In fact, they are so resistant to the idea that the Japanese government has been forced to drain its own national emergency rice reserve, which has now fallen from over 900,000 tons to dangerously low levels. So when you put these two forces together, a hungry country with sky-high prices, right next to a country with tons of rice to sell, the solution seems obvious. And this is where the story takes a dark turn. The question is no longer, why is there a shortage? The real question is, why is Japan willing to risk a trade war with America and empty its own emergency stockpile just to avoid buying foreign rice? The answer lies behind an invisible wall that Japan has built around its rice paddies, a wall made of culture, politics, and money. First, the most obvious part of the wall is the tariff. Japan imposes a mind-boggling 778% tax on any rice imported outside of a very small, tightly controlled quota. This is designed to make foreign rice so expensive that it can't possibly compete with domestic grains. This policy exists for one reason: to protect Japanese farmers. But this protectionism goes even deeper. For decades, the government ran a policy known as Genten, or acreage reduction. They literally paid their own farmers not to grow rice. The goal was to prevent prices from falling. That policy was officially scrapped in 2018, but its legacy lives on. It created a system that is inefficient, resistant to change, and completely unprepared for a sudden shock. They spent 50 years fighting a war against too much rice, leaving them defenseless against too little. This entire system is held up by the immense political power of Japan's farming lobby, the JA, or Japan Agricultural Cooperatives. This organization is more than just a union. It's a massive conglomerate that functions as a bank, an insurer, and a political powerhouse, ensuring that no politician dares to touch the sacred protection of domestic rice. So, to finally answer the question on our thumbnail, who is getting rich from Japan's rice crisis? Before we can follow the money, we first have to follow the taste. Let's be absolutely clear. Japanese rice is a world-class product. As anyone who's tried it knows, its unique sticky texture and subtle sweetness are a source of deep national pride. For Japanese cuisine, many believe nothing else can compare. And this genuine, passionate love for a perfect product is the emotional heart of this entire story. For 50 years, that national pride has been the political shield for the entire protectionist system. The argument was powerful and simple. To protect our unique national taste, we must protect our farmers. This made them the guardians of Japan's culinary soul. And that system has clear financial beneficiaries: the powerful JA cooperatives that control the supply chain, and the millions of farmers who are completely insulated from global competition. Their financial security was guaranteed because they were protecting something the nation cherished. But here is the great, tragic irony of 2025. The system designed to protect the perfect bowl of rice has now made that perfection unaffordable for millions. It has trapped its own people in a painful dilemma: stay loyal to the superior taste they love, or face the harsh economic reality of a price they can no longer bear. The pride in quality has become the justification for a policy that is now causing a national crisis. The very best rice in the world is sitting on the shelf, but for the first time, many are asking if the price of that perfection has simply become too high. And this leaves Japan and all of us with a profoundly difficult question. What is a nation willing to pay to protect its culture? And what happened when the system designed to preserve a national treasure is the same system that now putting it just out of reach?
Inflation is dead.
China.
The economy, the best we've ever had.
When Donald Trump threatened a new 10% tariff on the BRICS nations this month, most of the world saw it as another classic move in a global trade war, a show of American economic muscle. But this wasn't about trade. This was an act of financial desperation. Because while America was focused on headlines, an 11-nation alliance finalized a quiet, multi-year plan aimed at systematically breaking the world's addiction to the US dollar. This isn't just a political spat. It is the beginning of a real challenge to American financial power. And Trump's own chilling warning that losing this fight would be like losing a major world war reveals just how high the stakes truly are.